Pricing and specifications. For me, this is where this specific comparison is most interesting. You'd completely expect the Skoda on paper at least to be higher priced than the Subaru, and however it is not in actuality as soon as you run the numbers. Actually, the Skoda price formula, which can admittedly get only a little boring, and we speak about it a lot in testing here at CarAdvice, could very well be stronger than with any other product here with the performance-focused Octavia. The Octavia RS245, with automatic, begins from $47,390 in wagon form before on-road expenses, and as tested, mine has the recommended computer bunch, $2,300, luxurious bunch, $1,500, and automatic starting, $500. That delivers the cost to $51,690 before on-road costs. Standard equipment highlights, which distinguish the 245 from the RS169 TSI, include 19-inch combination wheels, dark exhaust ideas, and leather/Alcantara seat trim. Other common equipment highlights include 9.2-inch infotainment system with navigation, Apple CarPlay/Android Car, versatile LED headlights with LED DRLs, LED butt lights, red painted brake calipers, top and back parking receptors, selectable operating modes, and a progressive steering weight system. The computer package brings with it park assist, versatile framework control, advanced keyless access with smart begin, a 10-speaker Canton audio system, and maneuver braking assist. The luxury package gives leather/Alcantara trim, electrically variable top seats, heated top and back seats, blind spot detection, and street assist. The Levorg STI Sport, on the other give, starts from $51,990 before on-road costs, with common equipment highlights being, distinctive maroon leather-trimmed seats, special top fender and grille, STI 18-inch combination wheels, sport number setting, a full suite, Eyesight, of electronic protection package, 7.0-inch touchscreen, heated top seats, sports seats, and an intelligent rear-view mirror. Powertrain. Underneath the bonnet, performance ability is crucial to the sports wagon DNA, and the Skoda, which gives a motor with the Golf GTI Performance Edition 1, is no downsizing violet. The 2.0-liter turbocharged petrol engine hammers out 180 kilowatts and 370 Nm. Drive is provided for the front wheels through a 6-speed DSG, and there's a physical LSD in the combine as well. The RS245 may scamper from 0-100 km/h in 6.7 seconds in wagon type and up to a top pace of 250 km per hour. Its ADR fuel claim is a difficult to think 5.4 L/100 km on the mixed cycle, and on check we used and suggested 10.9 L/100 km, with this figure nudging up into mid-11s the minute you get too thrilled with the best pedal. The Subaru furthermore makes use of a 2.0-liter turbocharged petrol engine, however it beats the Skoda in the energy levels with 197 kilowatts at 5600 rpm. It cannot match the Skoda's 370 Nm, nevertheless, evaluating in at 350 Nm at 2450-200 rpm. The Levorg gets Subaru's famous AWD platform underneath the epidermis, but relatively jarringly, a fun-sapping CVT as opposed to mainstream automatic. There is number handbook selection accessible either. Subaru claims the Levorg STI activity may scoot from 0-100 km/h in 6.6 seconds. The ADR fuel claim is 8.7 L/100 km. On check we used and suggested 11.5 L/100 km, with the live figure running larger if you get too enthusiastic with the accelerator pedal. Interior. Even initially, it's tough to argue the Skoda's interior doesn't feel more premium, more insulated and a step higher than the Levorg's when it comes to overall quality. The Skoda has simple tire controls which are nicely presented, gauges which have a touch of class for many years, and a high-quality infotainment system. We found Apple CarPlay/Android Auto worked faultlessly, as did the old Bluetooth connection and audio streaming. The touch screen is clear, sharp, and responsive. The proprietary SAT NAV also worked beautifully over the course of our week behind the wheel. Prior to the shifter, there is a USB and auxiliary input together with a decent storage bin and shelf that holds larger smartphones. The console bin in the middle is they can be useful for much, and the center cup holders are pretty small too. There's an insert you obtain that holds the real key and smaller smartphones, and we love to the microscopic rubbish bin that clips into the door pocket possesses a plastic bag linked to it. The Skoda has higher quality seating and general comfort levels than the Levorg, together with the contrasting leather/Alcantara trim looking practically it can be comfortable. There's auto down on all windows, rear air vents, twin USB inputs inside the second row, heated rear seats together with heated fronts, and more than enough room for 2 adults inside the second row. It doesn't matter how tall the top seat occupants are. The luggage cover in the spine section is sturdy and keeps items from prying eyes. Bag hooks make transporting shopping safer and less hazardous. There's a fair light back there, and seat releases which make folding your second row down as simple as possible. That space opens from 588 liters, approximately 1,558 liters, together with the second row seats down. The Levorg gets Subaru's excellent Eyesight System across cheaper models too, but you will find too many buttons to the steering wheel. You'll eventually work them all out, but it is sometimes complicated the first time you start trading behind the wheel. The S-number drive button, by way of example, isn't simple to spot until you figure out where it is. Put simply, it is not immediately easy to exercise which button does what. The infotainment system is better described as basic in comparison to the Skoda, with no Apple CarPlay/Android Auto, as well as proprietary navigation is basic but accurate. However, the Bluetooth connection is among the finest ones we've tested recently, and it's clear all of the time with streaming that work well too. The top screen that is certainly mounted up high on the dashboard is driver focused, with readings like a good start gauge and accelerator percentage. There's a huge bin killing the front shifter, with USB, auxiliary and 1-2V sockets, and it's a good size for larger smartphones. Leading seats are heated, but the backs aren't much like the Skoda. The Levorg has auto down on all 4 windows, twin cup holders behind the shifter with a clever retractable cover, a compact bin with twin USB inputs plus a 1-2V socket at the elbow point, and small entryway pockets which don't hold a great deal, but you're lined and definitely will swallow a decent sized bottle. The two-tone leather trim is decent and not as premium because the trim in the Skoda, as well as seats themselves, aren't as comfortable either. That's especially the case up front, in which the side bolsters and squab aren't broad enough for larger bodies, while we want the driver's seat to sink lower into the cabin for taller drivers. Such as the Skoda, the second row is genuinely comfortable for adults, but there won't be air outlets strangely. You'll find, however, twin USB inputs and room limited to small bottles within the second row. Inside the luggage space, there's a quality cover, electric seat releases, plastic bag hooks, the light source, small mesh pockets in the side, and space that expands from 489 liters to 1,413 liters while using the seats folded down. The numbers indicate that the Levorg can't quite match the Octavia for usable luggage space. On the road. In riding, you'd assume the Levorg to keep rolling up near redline, and the Skoda to draw hard down the level thanks to the additional torque, and in actuality that's more or less how it pans out. The RS245 has plenty of meat on the bone to complete what the supposed customer will require. It offers pleasure, not surprisingly, but a level of involvement and relationship that took people a little by surprise. We expected it to sense sporty, but probably not as sporty since it was in reality. Their 19-inch wheels shod with 225/35/19 rubber guarantee the Octavia's drive is organization rather than cosseting. Around community that's no problem, but strike a couple of ruts middle corner and it may unsettle the RS245, although the Levorg remains nonplussed. The drive rarely actually erred privately of hard, but it absolutely was organization enough to miss about an accident through the nastier bumps. The engine and 7-speed gearbox mix is, as we have come you may anticipate, excellent. There are certainly several very slight DSG gremlins, mostly during on/off accelerator software at moving speed, but after going the adjustments are sharp and precise. The engine's balanced function of torque means the Octavia will get down the level fast, and will chirp the tires in the event that you take to hard enough, but we loved how a torque steer is mitigated by the LSD. The way the torque is delivered muscles up the mid-range also, in a way that the RS245 keeps piling on speed nicely when you need it to. Switch into R's style and everything enhances up a bit, including the fatigue notice, and the Octavia feels as close to a hot hatch operating experience as it's actually likely to get. Where the Octavia does deviate from the best its secure friends may produce is steering and entrance conclusion balance. When we injure up the wick into the twistier pieces, the Octavia thought heavier compared to the Levorg, not as nimble, not as sharp, and not as keen to change direction. The 19-inch rubber was quite noisy at speed and across coarse chip, and there clearly was the impression of understeer creeping in at speed as well. The Octavia gets larger rims but the exact same cross-section in real terms. Drive the RS245 around legal speeds, though, and it gets the task done without any hair-raising moments. The Levorg STI Sport, on another hand, surprised with how well it can play both ends of the spectrum. It does the household wagon thing well, but man, it could hold on in the corners too. That's despite being unhappy by the CVTO to really have a conventional manual or torque converter automatic available. Especially given how all-round capable the Levorg is. With the energy advantage it's on the Skoda, the engine sings to redline and loves the workout too. In S-number mode, the CVT does an exceptional job of delivering the sensation of 8 regular gearshifts, and the throttle feel is sharp too. Where in fact the CVT does let things down somewhat is when you wish to roll on with some sense of urgency. There is a hesitation, nothing much happens for a second, and it thus feels slow picking right up out of corners. We found if you started to use the pedal prior to when your brain wanted you to, you may drive around it, but it's not necessarily an ideal situation. The Levorg gets 225/45/18 rubber, which partly assists in delivering a better ride, however the springs and dampers deserve mention here too. They combine to ensure the Levorg can absorb the worst you are able to point it toward without ever feeling unsettled or skittish. The ride around town is also well above average, however the throttle calibration, or probably the sharp way in which power is available makes smooth driving difficult. You'll get more used to it with time, but it's not really a vehicle you are able to sit in and immediately drive smoothly like you are able to the Octavia. The leading suspension can crash over sharp speed humps, however the jarring sound doesn't translate to the need for a kidney belt in the cabin. At speed, the steering, front-end feedback and grip all feel more accomplished compared to Skoda, and there's without doubt that gearbox aside, the Levorg is the more engaging, enjoyable, and reassuring vehicle to punt hard. It is also fair to express, though, that the Levorg doesn't feel quite as sharp or rapid as something wearing STI badging really should. Ownership costs. The Skoda is covered by a 5-year/unlimited kilometer warranty with servicing required every 12 months or 15,000 kilometers. Over the initial 3 years, services will cost $322, $398, and $598 respectively, an overall total of $1,318. The Subaru Levorg is covered by a 3-year/unlimited kilometer warranty with servicing required every 6 months or 12,500 kilometers. Over 3 years, 6 services within the Subaru capped price regime average out to approximately $375 per visit for an overall total of $2,250.